Hello, everybody. I feel almost obligated to say this for the main reason that nobody else seems to be saying anything about it. I look on the news, I look on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and this thing going on with Joe Rogan, the Joe Rogan podcast, to where people I'm not even going to say their name because I feel like they're just probably doing it anyway because they're irrelevant and they're trying to be relevant again, trying to pull like kind of like a Kardashian stunt to where if basically if you don't have any talent, then just be shocking, and that's how you grow relevance. So I try to give them the benefit of the doubt and say they can't be that stupid. It has to have other motives than simply what they're saying their motives are. But anyway, I think a lot of people know what's going on with the whole Spotify thing, where certain artists are saying that if Joe Rogan is not taken off of Spotify, then they're taking their content off of Spotify. And, as an attempt to get Spotify to remove him because they say he is spreading misinformation, which it's not misinformation, it's just misinformation sounds worse, so that's the word they picked. But as soon as they did this, these artists said, Spotify doesn't remove Joe, well then I'm removing myself. And in an attempt to remove him, I saw this behavior. I knew exactly what it was. I'd seen it before, and I know other people has, but nobody's been saying anything about it. Everybody saw the same behavior in a child. That if a child doesn't get his way or her way, they'll say, or maybe they'll hold their breath, in an attempt to get what they want. Jordan Peterson talked about one where the child held his breath until he turned completely blue in order to get his way. And it even reminds me of a story that my mom and dad told me, that I don't know how old I was. I couldn't have been probably 3 or so, that I was something I was wanting. I was wanting my way somehow, and they wouldn't do it. So I said, I'll just go outside and let a bear eat me. And I just kept saying that. Well, I'll just go outside and let a bear eat me. And stood with the door halfway open, continually saying this to my mom, until my dad went around, through the front door and come around and growled real loud like a bear, and which scared me to death until I saw it was him, and then I started saying it again. But I say that to say this, that I can only describe the behavior of these so-called adults. They have to have the same, if this is truly the technique they are using to get Spotify to remove Joe Rogan, then they are of the same mentality of a child. They are using the same technique of a little child that feels like they are so important that the sheer removal of their presence is going to have people doing whatever it takes to get that presence back. It is as I say, it's nothing more than it's childlike behavior coming out of, and what's supposed to be an adult, what's supposed to be an example to a younger generation of how to act, yet they're behaving worse than, you know, a 13-year-old. So I have not heard anybody, notice it for a child's technique on that point. And then goes the other point of what I see so many people doing, and I can only contribute it to low mentality, maybe low, just don't have the IQ of they're like a cow isn't as smart as a dog. Maybe these people just don't have the IQ of the average person, but you'll see so many people so quick to, as soon as somebody does something they don't like, I mean, you see this on the media, they immediately go to the worst thing. They'll call somebody a racist. They'll call somebody a white supremacist. They'll call somebody a Nazi, a psychopath. They immediately go to the worst thing the worst word they can think of, even though, which in turn lessens the power of that actual word by not using it in its proper context. But yet again, this is the same behavior you'll see in a child. And what is a child like? Think of a little 5-year-old that their parent has told them, no, you can't go do this, whatever. You can't play with your video game. You can't have that cookie or whatever. And a lot of times, what does the child do? I hate you. They immediately go to the worst thing they can think of. They have learned the word hate. I hate you. And as a child, they go to the worst word that they know. Their vocabulary, because their vocabulary is so limited at that age, and they have limited vocabulary. They have limited knowledge and mentality of how to use words in proper context. So they just go straight to hate, and I cannot think of any other reason that's why these people immediately go to the words racist, white supremacist, Nazi, I don't know what else they immediately go to. Like, there's no build up. So if you call somebody a Nazi, what are you going to use for a real Nazi? A terrorist. Oh yeah, that's another one they go to people. They're a terrorist. So you've got somebody who, if they're a terrorist, then who are the people that's flying planes in the building? I mean, you went to the end of the words by using the word terrorist, by using the word Nazi, by using the word white supremacist. So what are you going to use to describe the actual people that these words were meant for or should be used on? So I just felt like I had to say that, as all I see is childlike behavior, child minds in adult bodies. So maybe if you agree with that, disagree, let me know if you've not thought of it that way. I've just not seen anybody else describe it that way, and cannot believe, I just don't want it to slip through the cracks to call something for what it is. Thank you.